Have you ever wondered what it takes to hit absolute rock bottom and then use that very same spot to build an empire? Well, today we're diving into the incredible story of Dwayne Johnson, a guy who didn't just get through the pain, he turned it into his greatest weapon. I want you to just picture this for a second. A man digs into his pocket, and all he has to his name is $7. That's it. He's got no job, he sees absolutely no future, and hope? That's not even a word in his vocabulary anymore. This is what rock bottom looks like. And yet, you fast forward just a few years, and that same man is one of the most famous, most successful people on the entire planet. I mean, how does that even happen? That's the journey we're going to explore right now. To really understand the power, you have to understand the pain. And for Dwayne Johnson, that pain started really, really early. His childhood was anything but stable. You see, Dwayne was born right into a wrestling family. His dad was the great Rocky Johnson, a pro wrestler himself. But that life, man, it meant money was always a question mark. They were always on the move, constantly bouncing from place to place, just trying to make ends meet. And then came this one moment that would just burn itself into his memory forever. He was only 14 years old, and he came home to a lock on the door. His family had been evicted. He said that moment changed everything for him. It lit a fire inside him to never, ever be in that spot again. So he's got this fire now, right? And it's pushing him toward this one single, all-consuming dream. But what happens when that one thing you've bet your entire future on just vanishes? You know, the pressure and the hardship of his early life, it really took a toll. He battled depression, he was getting into trouble, he felt totally lost. But he found an anchor, an escape. Football. For him, it wasn't just a game. It was his one shot at a totally different life. And you better believe he worked for it. I mean, relentlessly. He poured all that pain, all that struggle onto the football field. And guess what? It worked. He got a shot, a chance to play professional football in Canada. This was it. The dream was finally real. And then, in an instant, everything he had fought so hard for completely fell apart. He was cut from the team, just like that. The dream was over before it even really began. Can you imagine that feeling? Suddenly, you've got no job, you've got no money, and you have absolutely no idea where to go next. The one path he had built his whole life around had just disappeared. He looked in his pocket, and all he had left in the world was $7. He was right back where he started. It's in moments just like these where a person's life is truly defined, right? You can let rock bottom break you, or you can decide to use it as a foundation to build on. He had a choice to make. And in that moment of complete and total failure, he made a choice. He said, "No, I am not quitting." Instead, he decided to do something incredibly difficult. He swallowed his pride and decided to follow in his father's footsteps. He was going to become a wrestler. With this new path, it was no walk in the park. Not at all. He wasn't instantly welcomed. Promoters told him no, critics said he didn't have what it takes, and thousands of fans, they literally booed him out of the building, chanting, "Rocky sucks." But he didn't stop. He took all of that rejection, all of that noise, and he used it as fuel. This next part of the story, it's all about the relentless work that built an icon. He started living by this simple but incredibly powerful idea. Hard work beats everything. It doesn't matter if you have talent or luck or if you know the right people, nothing matters more than just outworking everybody else. His formula wasn't some big secret. It was just this: wake up before anyone else, train harder than anyone else, and never, ever make excuses. That was the code he lived by, day in and day out. And slowly but surely, he began to transform. He stopped trying to be the person the fans wanted him to be, and he just became himself. He became The Rock, this electrifying personality who completely took the wrestling world by storm and became a global superstar. But he wasn't done, oh no. He then aimed for something even bigger, Hollywood. And just like with wrestling, he struggled at first. People didn't take this wrestler-turned-actor seriously. But he just kept going, applying that same insane work ethic and proved them all wrong, movie after movie. Let's just pause for a second and really look at this. The contrast here is just staggering.
From being completely broke with just $7 to his name to becoming one of the highest paid actors in the world. From feeling lost and absolutely hopeless to being a guy who inspires millions of people around the globe.
So, what's the ultimate lesson here? Why does his story connect with so many of us? Well, I think it's because in the end, it isn't just about him. It's about what's possible for every single one of us. His story is this powerful reminder of a crucial truth. Failure is not the end. It's not a final verdict on who you are. To him, getting cut from that football team felt like the end of the world. But in reality, it was the beginning of something so much bigger. So if you're out there right now and you feel lost, if you feel like you've failed, or that life is just deeply, deeply unfair, I want you to remember this story. Remember the man who only had $7. His pain became his fuel. His failure became his launch pad. He turned his own personal rock bottom into the foundation of a global empire. So the only real question left is what's stopping you?